There we go. Hey everyone, and welcome to another Social Media Monday presentation. I'm happy to be here with you today. Thank you very much for being here as well. And today, for those of people that have showed up, what we're going to do is we're going to work on your social media marketing plan. So I'd like for you to just open up the social media marketing plan, client example number 1, social media plans. Do you guys have that are on the call here today? I sent it in the email. Now, I should really preface this by saying only individuals that are signed up on our monthly coaching program have access to this information. So if you're not signed up, I really highly recommend that you do become signed up. And then what you can do is you can ask for these materials and we'll send them out to you.
I don't believe I have that.
I did. No problem. So if you check out March 5th email, I did actually forward that over to you, and I'll just send it over to you right now again. Diane, you have it?
I do.
Okay, sending it off right now. There we go. So it's on its way. So what I want to do is I want to go through this whole plan with you guys on the phone. So we're going to help you define your company. We're going to help you define your mission, your vision, your target audience, your message, your strengths, and let me just continue down here, your weaknesses, your competition. We're going to do that as well. And then, of course, our objectives and our measurable goals. And then our execute, implement, launch idea, weekly status, and then our goal assessment. So today, what we're here to do is we're actually here to do work. So you can see what I've been doing. I've got my company defined. We're a marketing agency. Our mission is business owners own a sales and marketing company first. So I'm just putting my initial ideas there first. I got a vision. So the vision is, so what I did is I'm pulling out some of my materials. So I pulled out the business plan and I pulled out some of the other marketing materials that we got in our license and our franchise. And I'm just kind of slowly putting it in on a weekly basis. So the idea is what can you guys do to get this filled in for yourselves and start the social media strategy plan and start your, this is going to do is it's going to help you with your virtual assistant. So who wants to be, I guess there's only a few people online here today. So why don't, I'm going to volunteer. Diane and Jason, you get voluntold today, okay?
Okay.
Okay. For the other one else's that are listening, this is just going to be a good kind of how-to for you. So let's get going. So Diane, can you define your company for me? And have you done any of this, by the way?
Just through the articulated sales.
It's exactly the same thing. So if you pull up your articulated sales argument.
Ooh, I need to do that.
Document. And then define your overall company.
My company helps people at a minimum double their reading speed.
Okay, so we're going to focus specifically on the RAS reading here.
RAS reading, yep.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
So not all the other services or products, that's something you'll add on to later on.
Yep.
Okay, great.
One thing at a time.
Yeah, because the first marketing strategy, social media marketing strategy we have is to actually put this material on. Okay, so you're going to write that down. You're here to help individuals get the most out of their reading by helping them double, triple, and ideally get up to 25,000 words per minute. That's basically what your company is defined. Yep. So Jason, what's yours? We'll just do step by step until how much ever time we have, and we'll just send this out to everyone and they'll have to listen to it. It's just that simple. Jason, define your company.
Excuse me. So basically my company helps other businesses promote themselves online.
Perfect.
Through building their websites, optimizing them for search engines, keeping them secured, and building out online lead generation systems.
Okay, perfect. So you want to write all that down here in the company defined area number 4. How come? Because we're building out a virtual assistance program. So instead of our virtual assistant doing all of this kind of stuff, which we don't even know if they will be able to or not, we're taking that element of unknown out of the equation and putting what we know in as being the experts for our company and product. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill all this out first, and then we're going to start working it out, the beginning part of the process ourselves, and then we're going to hand this off to someone else to do for us on a monthly basis, generating leads and making money for us. So what you just mentioned, please write it down in your company to find. Next, Diane, your mission. Let's talk about your mission right now. What is your mission?
My mission is to have a greater impact by teaching people how to, at a minimum, double their reading speed.
Okay, perfect. So another mission statement could be, I'm just brainstorming with you guys as we're doing this. So another vision mission statement could be something like, professionals are overworked and not able to read the required, in quotations, amounts in order to continue with their professions and careers. Our mission is to ensure that the time professionals have is used most productively when fill in the sentence for me, Diane. What do you think is the next sentence? You get where I'm going.
Really, the mission is to get their reading done in the time that they have available.
Then that is your mission. Get your reading done in the time you have available, and that's a minimum of 3 minutes, because we found out with your course last time that 3 minutes is a lot of time, especially when you're reading with your skills.
Yep.
So a mission could be as simple as teaching professionals that 3 minutes of reading is more valuable than not reading at all. So these are small little headlines that you can just work out with, right?
Yep.
Cool. So Jason, what's your mission statement? And this could change. This is definitely going to change as you go on.
Yeah, I actually have it written down. So
yeah, you've worked on this stuff before. So let's hear what it is and plug it in there.
Yeah. So
and remember, this is a plug for your company too. This stuff goes out to everybody, right?
Yeah, it should be actually on my website. Yeah, it's right on the top of my About Us page.
Oh, perfect.
At Radiant Freedom, our mission is to create a brighter future for our clients, a future where financial and personal freedom are both not only attainable and within their grasp, but one where they are achieving both, a future of total freedom.
Nice. I like it. Perfect. Makes your job easier. That's just an example of having copy pre-written and having a good swipe file. Congratulations. So next we're going to talk about vision. And as you can see, as I was working on mine, like I'm slowly going to work on mine as well as we're going through this. As I said, I've got my business plan all up right here. So I got it just on the side, and I'm looking at my vision right here. Here's another part of my vision, is to a global network of marketing coaches, as well as 1,000 end users within the next 2 years. I'm a little, I'm more like I want 100 users within the next 12 months. So I'm going to adjust this for over the next 12 months. 1,000 would be great, but I'm gonna make it a little bit more realistic for myself. And here's a mission. So let's take a look at this. So I get to cut and paste too, providing cutting edge advice to help businesses to new levels of profitability by harnessing the knowledge base and expertise of a large number of hand-picked consultants. Whilst doing this, CMT will create a global infrastructure to support and promote business-to-business networking, notwithstanding a powerful global database. So that would be mine and my mission. So what's your vision now? Let's talk with yours, Diane. I can read mine first. So the vision here is to become a market leader in the area of small to medium-sized businesses and developed by specifically focusing on helping businesses implement strategic sales and marketing initiatives. These initiatives are brought together in a unique program that the company has developed. The program delivers cutting-edge advice and easy-to-implement systems that help small to medium-sized enterprises build their business to new levels of profitability and productivity. The company's motto is no results, no fee. We perform or we do not get paid. Therefore, there is no downside to this prospective clients. And by the way, you need to understand what no results means. Results actually means anything that you're working on your business, not just the bottom line dollars. So it's all kinds of results: better systems, better understanding, better marketing, conversations revolving around operations, bookkeeping, better business practices. So results is a broad definition. So Diane, where are you at with your vision?
My vision is to be one of the leading experts in the field of reading, where my focus is to help people double their, where is my vision? My vision is to have a greater impact on working professionals by teaching them more effective systems for getting their business and marketing done in a more effective manner.
I like it. I like both of them. So, I mean, you can see that we're kind of putting you on the spot as well, right? But that's good because you're thinking about it, and that's where the seed is planted, is in the first part of, as in this part, is where we're setting up those foundations. So if you find that you're kind of stumbling for words or finding out what your vision is, or any of you guys listening here, that's part of the process. Some of you are going to be way far along in this and have a lot of material developed, and some of you won't have nearly as much material developed. And for those of you that are working on the ASA, the articulated sales argument, that's where this comes in, because what we're ultimately doing is we're creating a social media strategy plan. And we need to understand this stuff for our virtual assistants. So your vision, again, is to help individuals with the time that they have. Just tell it to me one more time, Dan.
So my vision is to be the leading expert to help individuals, whether that be working professionals, entrepreneurs, students, get more reading done in the time that they have available.
So what happens if somebody says they have no time available?
Well, everyone has time available.
Nice. Is the answer. Love it. No, that's an objection overcome. Okay. So I remember seeing on television these people that go on TV, and then what they do is they read an entire book, and then what they do is they tell you what line and what paragraph number, and the people can actually go and read that back. Have you seen that before? If
you're proficient enough in reading skills, yes, you can get to that level.
Okay. So when I hear leading expert, this is what comes into my mind, is the person who's able to do that. What does leading expert mean to you?
I guess leading expert in that I know the system and what techniques and tactics and strategies people need to have in their toolkit.
Okay, perfect.
To get the job done.
Great. I love it, actually. There's a marketing idea. What do I need in my reading toolkit to ensure that I'm maximizing the time I spend on reading?
Right. And that's where the system comes into play.
But that's good marketing, right? Because I want to know what that is. What's my toolkit? Provide me a toolkit.
Yep. And that's what my system does, is it gives you the toolkit.
Yes, I'm aware of that. But saying that and marketing that, two different things.
Yes.
Okay, so we have to actually put it in words, show them what the toolkit is so that people will take action.
Yep.
Great.
Okay.
Jason, your turn to share vision.
Okay, so actually where I'm at right now is I currently have 3 vision statements. One which is the currently active one.
Great.
And I have 2 draft ones, which actually I just remembered now. I actually put that together just before we started that whole LinkedIn campaign thing.
That's awesome.
Forgot about it.
That's great. So, well, let's hear it, and let's pick the best vision. If you're open to that, I'm cool with that. Test and measure right now.
Yeah. So the first of the 2 draft visions is to create total freedom for our clients, freedom from financial stress, and freedom from obscurity by bringing your business to the forefront of your market's minds by delivering only the highest quality service to our clients. Our aim is to be an inspiration in and to our community, to set the example of how a business ought to be run and ought to be a member of our community.
That's your active one.
No, that's the first of the 2 draft ones.
I like the freedom from obscurity. I like that. That's a pretty cool headline. I like that. Cool. Okay, so what's the next one?
The next one is alternate draft.
Okay.
Our business caters to individuals that understand and know how to do what they're good at. They're professionals. Our clients are experts in their field and are looking for experts and professionals in the field of web development, website security, and search engine optimization.
Mm-hmm.
Radiant Freedom's aim is to inspire owners to realize that we are their online solutions for web development, website security, and SEO. We put our clients' minds at ease so they can make money in their business while we help them manage their businesses online. So they make money in their business.
I personally kind of like that one better,
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I find with this one here is
but they're
it's a
both
little
good.
bit, yeah, it was just getting a little bit long.
Yeah.
So kind of starting to,
Well, let's hear the one that you're working on now, and then we'll have Diana give her.
okay, so the other one, which is the currently active one,
Yep.
which is the one that's on my website right now, is we at Radiant Freedom see ourselves creating a world where we can all enjoy total freedom, world where people are free from financial stress, emotional stress, poor overall health, and ruin. This vision is achievable, and we do our part through our lineup of products and services to provide the knowledge, help, and affordable opportunities needed to bring this future about. Our dedicated team is working tirelessly to inspire you to become part of the new and bright future. Let the future of prosperity shine bright on you and everyone else.
Hmm. Diane, which do you
So,
like better of those? There's great elements out of all three of them.
Hmm.
yeah. And the current one, the one I currently have on my website,
Yep.
one of the main reasons I was moving away from that is that one was actually written back in 2014 when my business model was being run a little bit differently than what I'm doing now.
Yep.
So
I think number 2 is the best one so far. But I would like to see a bit of elements of the number 1 inside number 2. And the reason why I like the number 2 is because you're basically saying we know that we're professionals and we know you need professionals and you want to do the work you want to do and we want to do the work we want to do. Let's do it together, kind of thing.
yeah,
That's kind of like the way it sounds like to me. The first one doesn't give me that feeling as much as the second one did. The second one really piqued my interest a lot, actually.
yeah. I think the main thing with the second one would be it's a little bit repetitive. I think that was where it's starting to drag
True,
on,
it is.
getting because it was repeating the same thing several times.
Well, why don't you send all 3 of those visions to me, and why don't we come up with something next time we talk together and combine
So
those 3?
yeah, so what I'm thinking there would be take that part where we start, just repeating the same thing that we said in the first half,
Mm-hmm.
and replace that with the statement about community.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I like it.
So that because that is one of the key things that I identified in doing because I actually went through an exercise you'd sent me there, and community was one of the key things identified as being important to my company vision. So
Absolutely. Dan.
Yep.
Want to go? Oh, I think you shared yours already.
I already did.
yeah,
So we're on target audience now. Did you have any comments for Jason?
I kind of like the second one too as well, and I think there are flavors and elements that are strong in the first and third one. So all
I
of those
agree.
combined into the second one would make more sense. I don't want to reiterate, but I felt the same thing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's all. So if we're all on the same page, Jason, 3 separate business owners kind of thing, all kind of giving you and whoever else is listening, whatever they think, then I think that take number 2 as a foundation and then use elements of the first one and the one that you're currently using and just prop that up. And I think you're going to have a really good one. I really like that we're professionals helping other business professionals because you're really, it's the next one right here. You're speaking to your target audience. And that's the next step right here is who is your target audience? So,
Well, and just one other thing in terms of freedom, defining what freedom means, I think is important because people have different, so how Jason is defining freedom, I think is important so that that's a connection point for his target audience so that he can figure that out. So if freedom is contextualized, then it's not more of a platitude, it's more of something concrete that people can hook onto.
So what Diana is saying is, as a platitude, is a trite and banal statement that fails to evoke an emotional response. And what Diane's wanting to say to you is that if you could take because anyone can say freedom, right? Anyone can say that. It becomes a platitude, which is something anyone can say that fails to evoke an emotional response. So what she's asking you to do, she's asking you to quantify exactly what freedom means, and quantify it in the sense of, does it have a number? Does it have a percentage? Does it have, like, what are those elements of freedom that you're identifying? And that's what you're talking about, right, Dan? Just to clarify.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe there's 5 elements of freedom that you're looking for, or freedom means this specific thing. So if you can be more specific.
Website freedom, SEO freedom, security freedom, sales conversion freedom, and
financial freedom, obscurity freedom.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. But financial freedom is very broad. So, but specifically for you, providing financial freedom would be based on website development, search engine optimization development, security protocols, and so in line with what it is that your funnel is meant to do.
Yeah. So in other words, so in my case, it would be more to do with, freedom from.
How about copywriting? When you work with me, you don't have to worry about the copy. I take care of all those issues. That's freedom for a lot of business owners. They don't want to write that copy, right?
And same goes for graphic design as well, because I source all that and make sure that they get professional copy, professional graphics, and professional everything.
Say that. Just say we if you can't do that and provide that, we get that done for you. That's a differentiator. That's not a platitude.
Yeah. And that's the thing that people are looking for, right? People have problems with her copy.
Yeah.
They have problems with their SEO. They have no idea what SEO is and what it does.
Or how long it takes.
Or how long it takes. So anything that's more specific, and I was thinking I could tie that back to my own stuff, like how many tools do I have in my toolkit that I can offer people?
But here's another interesting idea. Dan, I remember you mentioning early on how you've taken a lot of these kind of courses, but here you are taking this course and you're actually getting stuff done. What's the difference?
Accountability for me.
So
I can take all the online courses I want in the world and I can learn all kinds of stuff, but if I actually don't do anything with the information that I'm learning, then I'm still in the same position I was when I bought the course. So
Jason, take that as a very valuable lesson.
Yeah.
People like to have accountability when it comes to getting stuff done. Either you make them accountable or they'll make you accountable, or you held each other accountable. That's the best relationship.
Yeah.
So target audience, let's talk about that right now. Diane, you go first, and then Jason.
Working professionals who have to engage in professional development to maintain their designations. So lawyers, notaries, pharmacies, doctors, chiropractors, physiotherapists, massage therapists, naturopaths, nurses.
Okay, so each of these, now what's brilliant about what you just said, and you should write all of them down, is that each of these becomes its own marketing message. Are you a doctor? Are you a doctor? Are you a chiropractor? Are you a nurse that's looking to get ahead financially in your career?
No.
You don't say them all. Separate headlines, and then in your Facebook ads, Google ads, all that stuff, we start really, really defining our target market.
Yep.
And then we don't have to spend a lot of money to target them because we know exactly what it is, because they put that they're doctors on there.
Yep.
So, and now we're not limited at all by space. We have 2 billion potential clients.
Yep.
So,
and I actually learned last night, because I was on a webinar.
Yeah, nice.
How to use the ads manager in Facebook.
Yes.
To get to your target audience.
Yes. That's actually really, really helpful. So one of the things I wanted to do today was I actually wanted to work on one piece with you guys, like one marketing piece. But all of a sudden this has come up but yeah, we could do that as well. So next time one of you want to actually do that, we should do it all together and we can show everyone how to actually do the ads manager, because it's pretty darn simple. It's not complicated. Yep. It's just actually narrowing your target market is really the key. Otherwise, you're going to get too many people. It's going to be too broad. And it costs too much money.
Well, in the example I saw last night, the guy who's doing the webinar, he went from like 6 million people in his audience down to 2,500 in his local local market.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about what we do. And you'd be pretty specific. So your target audience, if you were doing just a general, so for you, for instance, there would be general speed reading where we would cater to a professional.
Yeah.
But then what you would do is you'd start building out professionals. Are you in the healthcare profession? So that's one target market.
Yep.
Are you in this profession? Then that's another target market. Are you in this profession? That's another target market. So for instance, for us, our target market's business owners, but there's a second target market for us, which is individuals that are interested in learning how to do a real estate business. Totally separate marketplace, really totally different target market, right? And the only reason why we're able to do that is because of my background, skills, and experiences. So I'd have to create a totally separate message for those individuals still under the same business umbrella than regular business owners. And I think that if you understand that, then I think that you're going to have no shortage of ads when we get over here, which is the social media calendar. Right here, this is the campaign platforms. So let's move on to the next one over here. Right, this is our content titles, our copy, our images, and our links. So when we start working on this, then you're going to have lots of copy ideas based on what we're sharing right now.
Yep.
So Jason, what's your target audience?
Excuse me. All right, so my target audience would be small to medium-sized businesses, and in particular, ones that are involved in natural health products, either manufacturers or distributors. And I guess you could also add in retailers in there as well. That's another avenue I'm willing to pursue.
So when you say small to medium-sized businesses, are these startup businesses, or these are businesses that are ongoing? They haven't updated their websites since the 1990s.
Both.
Okay, interesting. So there's no shortage of customers for you.
No, the main shortage is finding, the ones that have and are willing to spend money on, the money on their marketing. And, and connecting with them. So that's going to be the primary challenge there is of, all the, thousands and thousands and thousands of businesses out there, which ones have the vision to invest in their marketing and have the budget to.
Well, I think that if you take a look at our target markets are probably individuals that set up their own websites at some point, right?
Yeah.
And now it's time for them to ramp it up. So that's one target audience. I think another target audience are businesses that are running their businesses for the last 10 years successfully, but they haven't really focused on the online aspect. They're just it's kind of running, but now it's time to get the website up to another level. And then, of course, there are the companies that do have marketing campaigns where they want their campaign and they do regular quarterly or maybe a yearly campaign strategies where they do have a marketing budget. So I think
and then the third one would be startups who have a startup marketing budget.
Yep.
And they don't have any materials yet because they're just starting out.
Yes, and I think that would be for those ones, you want to teach them how to just write the basic copy themselves. You show them how to do that, and then when they have the copy, they come and use you because you've built a relationship with them, right?
Yeah, I mean, that also depends on the business, because if it's someone who's starting up a business where they want to be doing what they do and they don't want to be worried about copy and they have the budget, then, to give them a full done-for-you service, just, get it done for them.
Precisely. So there's always those two options. We don't ever say no to someone who has a little bit of money that needs help. That our job. I feel that my job as an entrepreneur is to help that person. Otherwise, who knows where else they would get help, or maybe they wouldn't get help.
Yeah. They just become another statistic, one of the 90% of businesses that doesn't last 5 years and is closed shop.
I love martial arts. So I noticed that there's this martial arts shop that opened up recently around the corner. I went and picked up their brochure. I was like, I got to send them a message. I sent them a message. They never came out to the boot camp. Now they're out of business. So I was like, oh man, could I have just phoned them and followed up just that one more time? But the issue is in the Lower Mainland, there's no shortage of businesses that need help. So
Yeah.
it's all about the person's ability to acknowledge that they need help too. So
Yeah.
I think you have
As the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
unless you feed them salt.
To,
That's a First Nations. That was a wise First Nations gentleman told that to me, or
yeah.
Aboriginal. They're called now. Excuse me.
Anyway, so continuing
Indigenous.
with my target market here, so we have natural health products, manufacturers, distributors, retailers, also natural medicine practitioners, so naturopaths, chiropractors,
But do you see
physical
how all
therapists.
these are separate
RNs.
messages, right? For you to
Yeah.
call out. Okay, good. As long as
Yeah,
you understand it.
like number 1 and 2, those would be fairly similar, I would say.
Yep.
Slightly different, but still generally in the area of how to get more people more healthy.
Yes.
And then the third one is natural foods. That would be manufacturers, distributors, retailers.
Mm-hmm.
So again, each of those would have slightly different messages I need to use to get to them.
Yes, absolutely.
Manufacturers, distributors, those would be fairly similar, I would expect. And in many cases, manufacturers and distributors are one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing factory direct to retailer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say the main area where you'd see differences would be with the ones who are on the retail end of it.
So let's create a scenario where all of a sudden you have so much opportunity that what you realize is that the amount of time that you have to actually market for those opportunities is limited, because not only are you running your business, doing the bookkeeping, doing the outsourcing that needs to be doing, the project management to get those jobs done, but you also have to do lead generation, and you have to do conversion and follow-up to make sure that individuals are actually, I'm going to let Gurjeet in. So to make sure that individuals are actually getting the job that they wanted done. So you're running a whole bunch of businesses, right? Like you have many, many hats. So in this particular example, when we talk about our target audience right here, what you're able to see is you're able to see that by preparing all of our social media content for the next 12 months, like what we're doing right here, and coming up with cool little headlines and when we're going to market and so on, that you are in fact creating a very, very realistic system for your virtual assistant to then go out there and generate business for you. So remember, all the audience that you have, and I think you named 5 or 6 of them minimum. Each of those are separate messages. Every one of those is a separate message. So now you have a minimum of 5 or 6 messages, period. So the more you can put down for your target audience, the better off you are. Gurjeet, thanks for showing up. We really appreciate it. We're going through social media campaign number 1. I'm not sure if you have all these materials. Do you have all these materials that we're looking at right now?
I'm not sure, Odin.
But I'll forward it to you right now. It's 13 documents. And what we're doing this for is we're creating a social media campaign strategy plan so that we can outsource that to our virtual assistant when the time comes. So we're coming up with all the plans and all the ideas, because we can't expect our virtual assistant to come up with any of this information. And we're all on marketing budgets, everyone here. And so handing this out to someone to do it for you could probably cost you quite a bit of money. So what we're going to do is you're going to walk through it on a regular basis until it's done. So we're going around, we're having everyone so far talk about their company being defined. We're talking about their mission, their vision, their audience, and now we're going to be talking about message. So what we're really coming up with is we're coming up with a marketing copy that we'll be able to give to our virtual assistant in an easy format, like an email like this, so that when they start writing or creating our ads for us based on our headlines and so on, that it'll be easier for us to make sure that they're staying on track. So Diane, did you talk about your target audience already? I think you did. Now we're on message. So let's talk about message for each of our companies. Diane, you go first.
It's tough to keep up with all the information that we're exposed to every day.
No kidding, just in this course.
hmm Frustrated of not having a proven step-by-step process that will have you read and retain information.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, frustrated with your lack of retention or falling asleep when you're reading your book for 3 minutes. Remember, those are frustrations.
Yep.
So get those frustrations down as a part of your ASA. Good. Awesome. What more?
Learn a proven and simple system to get your reading done in the time you have available.
I really want that quantified. I want that quantified. I hear it, but when I think of my time available, it doesn't strike me as as a thirst quencher. I'm looking for a thirst quencher. Can you rework that message just a little bit?
I could do 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I mean, the book a week program is essentially 20 minutes a day.
Which is, then I think that it'd be reasonable for you to start training people to start thinking in 20-minute time frames or 3-minute time frames or 5-minute time frames so that you can start getting them. Just say, chances are you only have 20 minutes to do your studying and your research. Our system shows you how to maximize that 20 minutes so you can be reading double your reading speed with retention. So I'm looking for that kind of stuff, that real marketing stuff, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
I really like what you said there with 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and 20 minutes. I think that if you can start training our minds to start seeing 20-minute segments, because that's only 3 20-minute segments that we read in 1 hour, right?
Yep.
So 20 minutes, everyone has 20 minutes, but how do we maximize retention in that 20 minutes?
Yep.
How do you guys feel about that when it comes to Diane's message in regards to what she said before and what we came up with now? Any comments? Jason?
Excuse me. Sorry, I'm just kind of having I guess I'm having a bit of a, just trying to look for the right word to say it. My mind just kind of went into a little bit of a...
Yeah, that's okay. That's what happens.
Whistling to itself mode, I guess you could say.
But I think that for your message, Diane, no problem, Jason. I think that for your message, Diane, that something a little more quantified, helping us to master 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and 20 minutes of reading, and then getting us into that habit pattern on a weekly and daily basis to do that.
Well, and that's what I want to do, because once they learn the 5-step system, I want them to do a book a week, essentially.
Yeah, but the book a week can be as easy as 20 minutes. That's what I think that message is not being communicated as clearly as it could be. Okay. It's the fact that you're taking what they're spending maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 hours a week on, and you're reducing that to 20 minutes.
Yep.
And that's a significant savings.
Mm-hmm. So instead of 10 or 15 hours a book, literally with the book a week program, you're like an hour to an hour and a half per book.
That is the differentiator. That's your message. So instead of spending 15 to 20 hours on reading your book, spend an hour. That's your message.
So Odin, how about just stating the transformation instead of,
Yeah, what do you have in mind?
For example, what was in my mind was, how about just saying, would you like to read a book in an hour? A 40-page book or a 100-page book in an hour or something like that.
You know what? I'd be willing to test that message, Diane.
Okay.
I'd be willing to test that message just to see if that headline, how it would test out with other headlines.
Okay. I
think it's an interesting headline. Because ultimately that's what this is all about, is creating initial headlines with what we're coming up, what we're creating. What we're doing in this page is we're creating so much content and so much material that we don't have to come up with brand new ideas later on.
Right.
Yeah, the other thing as well is if you have, let's say, 2 or 3 messages, it's nothing wrong with having, multiple key messages.
I agree.
You can use different ones for different occasions.
I completely agree. And that's what the social media is about constantly being in constantly getting that message out there and so on. And what I'm finding is my personal Facebook page is not nearly getting as much traction as all the group work I'm doing. Group work is the way to go. Everyone's on groups, so you got to find your group or create your group. That's the idea. That's where. Jason, you want to talk about your message right now, and then we'll go to Gurjeet.
Yeah, actually, fortunately, message is one of the things that I spent some time previously working on. So I actually identified 6 key messages that talk to my main.
Well, beautiful. Let's hear them.
Points. So, first one: most clients I talk to think their web developer can do cybersecurity and search engine optimization, or SEO for short. In reality, most can't.
Yep, it's true.
Work with me for your SEO and web development. Don't pay for your copywriting twice.
Oh, nice. Wow. Actually, that's very powerful.
Yeah, that's actually one that we worked on together back in the fall.
Wow. Wow. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Don't pay for your copywriting twice. That's an amazing headline.
Yeah, and that's something that I see so often too, is people will treat their site development and their optimization for search engines as separate projects, and then have to go and redo a bunch of the work.
That's a serious message, Jason. I think that if you were to really start promoting that message, you'd find more people being funneled to your services.
Yeah. Next one. Cybersecurity is crucial to small businesses. There's 2 subpoints to this one. Nearly 1 in 2 smaller micro businesses reported suffering an attack in 2017 survey, up from 36% in 2014 and 18% in 2011.
I got hacked last year.
Yeah. And 60%, the other subpoint is 60% of small businesses who suffer a security breach will go out of business within 6 months of the breach.
I've seen that happen too, and it's way less than 6 months. Typically, if they suffer security breaches, they can be out of business in as little as 3 weeks because they're done. Their reputation's over.
Yeah, unless they know how to handle it and recover from it.
Yeah, and a lot of companies just don't know how to do that.
And that's one of the biggest reasons why they get done by that, is the fact they just don't know how to get rid of the breach and protect themselves from it happening again in the future. And
I guarantee to you that we've got Gurjeet and Diane and all the other people that are listening. A lot of them don't know this information and wish there was someone out there marketing this information so that they could find the right people to work with. Am I right? Am I right, guys?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep, certainly. And actually, a lot of these, these points here, you can actually see them in the articles in my website's blog.
Which means you have even more marketing content moving forward. You're just going to recycle all of it.
Yeah, and so anyways, that's half my messages. The next one, number 4, is a good website is about more than just looking pretty or cool. It's about driving people to a conversion goal.
Yes. Did we work on all these together?
Some of them, yes. I think some of them are based on stuff we talked about, and then
pretty good stuff
that
I see a major the 5th difference between then and now.
The 5th one, good SEO is about more than just getting a website to the top rank of searches. It's about creating a convertible website, then ranking it up in the right searches.
Mm-hmm.
And number 6, our goal at Radiant Freedom is to create greater success for your business through our digital marketing services.
I don't like that one as much.
Yeah,
your other 5 are far superior, especially when you're quantifying with statistics. That was top.
Yeah, and this one here he came out as more of a sort of a general message. You then lead into then adding in supporting facts and details about it.
When you support facts and details, it becomes a very powerful marketing piece. Well, thank you, Gurjeet. Well, actually, which of those? Go ahead.
Yeah, I have just one headline that I'd like to discuss.
Sure, just a message? Okay, no problem.
Yeah, want to enjoy your pregnancy and have an easy childbirth in spite of what your friends and family say?
Yeah. Okay, so that would be a headline. I'm cool with that headline. We got to test that headline for sure. But when it comes to your message, the message that you really have is that 100% of women believe that they can get through pregnancy on their own. As an example, right? That's your message. Our message is that our message is that 100% of women all need to understand what happens before, during, and after pregnancy. Our message is to get prenatal education as quickly as you can. It's affordable, it's low cost, and your body will thank you after you've been through the pregnancy or given birth. Now, Diane, here's an interesting question because I know that you're a mom. Did you go to prenatal classes before you had your baby?
No, I didn't.
Do you wish that you would have?
Yes, and I wish I had help with the last part, which is the birthing part, because I had a very hard time.
Yep. And
you could mark it to each segment. You can mark it pre-conception, first 3 months, mid-month, and then at the end. Like you could actually mark it to 4 different segments as people go through their pregnancy.
I love it. Gurjeet, grab that. It's totally true. Each of the trimesters is actually a separate marketable product. It's totally true. It is. Yeah, it's a great idea. So when we're talking about your message, it's the message that Diane has. It's basically women are suffering from not knowing what they don't know. They are. That's the truth. And the message is that women need to realize that they don't have to do it alone, that there's help and support and education out there, and it doesn't have to be painful. That's your message.
And the fact of the matter is, doctors don't give you the right, like I just went to my family doctor, and my family doctor said, oh, just take these vitamins and you're fine. But I could have had it all other side of education on proper diet, exercise plans, all of those kinds of things, like tips and tools. Like if you had thrown them at me, I had a beautiful pregnancy, but my delivery was disastrous in my opinion. So
avoid a disastrous delivery. That's the truth. I mean, just to speak, Diane, our children are pretty much the same age.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided that we were going to go the midwife route, and we actually don't even have a family doctor. We just go to the local walk-in clinic kind of thing. And so we went with the midwife route, and we went to and got all those education processes. Like we did all that stuff.
Yep.
And we went and took the courses and blah, blah. And it made the difference because my wife had a non-complicated birth. It was pretty much straightforward. We had it at home. We had it at home on our bed, no less. And that's just not heard of today. I mean, 100 years ago, that's all it was, at home on your bed. In a hospital, you're born in a hospital. What are you talking about, right? But now, if you're not born in a hospital, it's kind of like you're strange.
Well, yeah, being born in a hospital back then would be because there was a complication with the pregnancy, and
exactly, yeah,
and possibly, either the kid was at risk of being a stillborn, or mama was at risk of dying in childbirth.
Exactly, precisely. But it's all switched around now, and so I think that your message, Gurjeet, I think we gave you some pretty good ideas on what your message could be. It's truly that that women are not being given the amount of education and support that is necessary in order to have a completely satisfying, uneventful pregnancy or birth. And that's your message should be: uneventful, uninteresting births, uneventful, non-interesting births. And why would that be your message? Because honestly, that is the best birth to have for a mother.
Yeah, everything's completely routine, dull, boring.
Yep. But although pregnancy and giving birth in and of itself is not, we should shut up, Jason.
Yeah.
What do we know?
And here's the other thing as well. I'm not sure if you want to bring this up in your messaging is, the fact that as much as well trained as your family doctor is and the things that they know about, the frightening truth is with medical doctors today is they're given like maybe about a couple of months to 3 months or so of nutrition and vitamin and diet training.
Yep.
You're pretty much usually lumped together into a single class or just a few lectures of another class. So they're really not, taught how to teach their patients how to keep maintain a good diet, nutrition, and all that.
But Gurjeet has to be careful because her message,
So,
she's in the medical field. She's an actual registered nurse, and she's talking to doctors. So
yes,
she's
of
being
course.
questioned by the doctors as to what her philosophy is about doctors. And she has to be very careful of not, for public relations purposes.
You're right, Odin, because when I went to the OBs, they were really interested if I was talking about when things go wrong, they felt they were not accepted. And would I also not accept them in my classes? Would I also go the same way? Or would I tell tell my clients that, when things go wrong, the OB is there to help you?
Yes.
That was their concern.
And because remember that they don't want their business going away, Jason. They are in Canada. It's a great system because someone goes and visits. They get a test. That test is $100, $200, $500 at a time, and lo and behold, they're making money at that. So I mean, the doctors like their business, and so
of course,
has to really be careful because anything she does in marketing can be scrutinized. Anything she says to her clients can be recorded and scrutinized, and she likes her license. She enjoys it, so she wants to keep it. So you're right about that pain button, though. And go ahead, Diane.
I was going to say there's a separate market there in terms of doctors, though, to get doctors and nurses to come to a training program on the techniques that Gurjeet teaches.
They don't want to do that. They just want what Gurjeet is doing is she's saying, look, you don't have enough time to spend 8 hours with these individuals and these moms to teach them how to do it. The nurses don't have enough time either. Midwives don't have enough time because there's 3,000 to 4,000 births happening at any given time here in the Lower Mainland. Gurjeet can only really focus on 120 of those per year. There is, I mean, we're creating a system, of course, where she's going to be able to get all 2,000 and she'll be able to talk to all the doctors in time and so on and so forth. But I mean,
now that, although you do actually have a good idea there, I think that maybe if we look at this a bit of a different way is that, I mean, right now, Gurjeet, you're creating a system, but eventually you're going to have that system in place, and it's just simply going to be a matter of you're going to keep reteaching the same lessons over and over. When you get to that point there, that's an area where you can actually scale up and start, instead of teaching the individual, a pregnant woman, one-on-one how to deal with their pregnancy or in classes, you begin teaching other healthcare professionals who want to do what you're doing how to do what you do. So you start training trainers.
We've got everything we're doing is exactly that, Jason. It is a licensing model that we've got. Yeah, that's what we're working on. But I think that we're pretty clear on your message. Hey, Gurjeet, has this helped you?
Yes, definitely.
That's what today is all about, is just getting you guys clear on what your messages are and the first 10 steps. So let's talk about strengths defined. I'm pretty sure we're all good with message. Let's go and do a little round table on strengths defined and then weaknesses defined. And I think then we can kind of call it quits for the day. And I would just want a bit of feedback afterwards.
How are you defining strengths?
Well, that's a great question. So in our research, discovery, and analysis, what we're looking for is we're looking to see what we're doing differently than our competition first. And we're looking to see what are we really good at. So for instance, Gurjeet's strengths is the fact that she is the Kwantlen University trainer on prenatal care. Like
of registered nurses.
And she's a registered nurse. That's a definite.
I'm the trainer for registered nurses.
You're a trainer for that's a defined strength. So you're a trainer for registered nurses. So at Kwantlen. A defined strength for you, Diane, is you're a doctor at SFU, right? Yeah, for educational psychology. A strength for Jason is going to be that Jason not only does website development, website copywriting, but also SEO development, SEO copywriting, and you don't have to go to two separate people to do that. You can do it from one person. Plus, he does all security too. So that would be fine.
That's actually exactly what I was writing down in there, is that I'm trained in SEO, web development, coding. cybersecurity and the other thing.
You're a project manager, Jason. I've
yes.
been watching how you do your business. Quite frankly, you're a project manager. You run your business just like an agency. It's pretty cool, actually. That's one of your strengths, is being able to do those quotes. Not very many other people do that. So having a quote system, not changing your quote system, right? Understanding the upselling strategy while at the same time giving clients exactly what they need. So, I mean, like, there's lots of strengths that you've been able to define over the last couple of months.
Yeah, and that actually, a lot of the strengths you mentioned is actually brought about by the fact that I am able to, do the things that I'm good at, and at the same time farm out the things that I'm either not as good at or less passionate about, so that way I'm able to offer a much more rounded service than your typical freelancer could.
Yeah. So that's a great strength. So Diane, you go first with your strengths defined.
PhD in educational psychology, certified photo reading and mind mapping instructor.
That is your strengths defined, I would say. Yes. So Jason, you got yours too?
Strengths defined, I actually just said them.
Perfect. And then Gurjeet, you want to talk about yours?
Yeah, just like we discussed.
Perfect.
Professor at Kwantlen, registered nurse in the family birthing unit, running own prenatal classes.
But you have more strengths than that. Like, for instance, you're given kudos by the leading woman of prenatal care of children worldwide. I mean, that is a strength. That lady, I forget her name. One of the other strengths.
Penny Simpkin.
Penny Simpkin, yeah. So, I mean, like, that's a strength defined. So we might have to explain who Penny Simpkin is and give her a little bit of a history. But it sounds to me that people should probably know who she is, right? If she's an authority in this, and so she's
a Canadian authority on childbirth education.
You have her 2 thumbs up, right? So I mean, we got to get a testimonial from that. Also, strengths defines are your testimonials and your and referral partners too. Write those down. So this is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We're getting into a SWOT analysis now. Then let's talk about our weaknesses. What are your weaknesses defined?
I'll volunteer to go first.
Sure.
So my greatest weakness, I would say, is the fact that I'm a sole proprietor with no employees or business partners.
Yep.
Share the workload.
Yep.
Now, I do hire freelancers, but those are as needed. Yeah, and they don't really help with generating sales.
Exactly.
Necessarily.
I'll go next.
Yeah.
My greatest weakness is finding the time between my 2 jobs.
Time management.
To focus on the business and the classes.
But you're doing it, and I have to tell you, you're doing good at it.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Dan?
Well, time management is a challenge for me between the full-time job and doing this.
And not only that, is you have children too.
Yeah. So those would be
your biggest weaknesses defined.
Yeah.
So so I mean, I don't think that what we're going to do is we're going to probably not put weaknesses defined and strengths defined and give that over to our social media people. I don't think so. We should know what that is. But let's think about in our industries and our target markets. What are their strengths defined and what are their weaknesses defined? Think about that for a second. And that's what I want you to replace in the strengths and weaknesses defined. So you have your own, you've identified those. But now let's think about what your target market strength defined is and weaknesses defined. And
so sometimes even the strengths and weaknesses that you have, sometimes some of them could be the strengths and weaknesses of your clients. For example, time management, they could be busy with jobs and not have time to do anything.
And now what you have is an online solution at which time they can also take it in person if they wanted. Mm-hmm. They don't have to wait. You don't have to wait 3 or 4 weeks. If you're ready to get started, let's do it right now, right? So yeah, great points.
And strengths is that, that's not something new or magical that they're going to do. Women have done it like for ages. So it's a strength they already have. They just have to uncover it.
That's one, I really like what you just said there. I love that. That's a whole article by itself. Really nice. Beautiful. Great. Awesome. Thank you. Who's next? Diane?
Well, I guess my biggest competition is learning strategies, where I'm certified from.
Well, let's talk about this, though. Let's talk about the strengths defined by the people that are coming your target market. So the strength defined by them coming to you is that they are professionals in their industry, and they've actually achieved a degree of success,
Yep.
want to maintain that success. And there comes a certain point in becoming a virtuoso in what you do after you've been doing it for 10 or 20 years that they might feel as though they know it all, but that would be a weakness defined, that professionals believe that they don't need to know more in their industry, that they're not innovating. The strengths are the people that are aware of that they have to continue to develop and innovate. But the weaknesses are your people who don't innovate. And by the way, we are, as human beings, we can all remember times that we were just tired of learning and gave up. All of us. I was like, I just don't want to learn anymore. I'm tired of it. I don't want to discover anything more for this next 5 months. I'm done. Oof, right? We all go through that. We've all had our ups and downs. Remember when we got out of school? We're like, no more school, no more books, no more teachers, dirty looks. I sang that song, although I never got teachers' dirty looks. Everyone else just sang it. But the point is that you're getting my ideas there, right?
Yep.
So that innovation part is definitely a weakness, and you can really hold on to that quite well. And the strengths defined, I think that the strengths is that they want to be good mentors, educators. They want to spend less time, not more time working. And that's where you say, turn 20 hours into 1 hour by using this.
Yep.
Wonderful. So what I'll do is I'll stop the recording and say thanks everyone for being here today and going through this exercise. It's obviously necessary for our social media strategies. I'm going to ask you to continue with the next sets of questions here. And there's not too many of them if you take a look. There's only a few of them. And just go through that. And by the end of next session, we'll have completed. So that's your homework for the day. I'm going to stop the recording. For those that are here, we'll just stay on for another minute or so. And we'll talk to you next time, guys. Thanks for being here.